Hello and welcome back to our last lesson in this series. You have done such a great job sticking with this. Let's jump right in with our think about it questions. How will you decide which strategy to use, doubles, doubles plus one, etc., when you are solving a basic multiplication fact? Well, the first thing that I'm going to think about is what do I know? And then based off of what I know, I'm going to choose which strategy fits the best with that. So it's really whatever works with what you know. And not only that, but once I get really familiar with them and once I'm doing this a lot, I'm going to start knowing the basic facts right off the top of my head, all of them, even the ones that are tricky right now. And why do you think it's important that you can solve multiplication facts quickly? Well, in my opinion, I think it's really important because multiplication is just the foundation for so much of what we do in math. And there are things that you do every day that require you to know multiplication facts, but the answer to the multiplication isn't the means to the, it's only a means to the end, it isn't the end itself. For example, if I'm in the kitchen, I may need to figure out how many times of a recipe I need to make, whether I need to double it or triple it for the amount of people I'm feeding, and I want to be able to find that answer quickly, because I don't really care what the answer is, I care about what I'm doing in the kitchen, and I want to get that going. All you'll need for this lesson is a pencil and a piece of paper or your work log. You may also choose to have a number of small objects in front of you to help you with any of these, but that is not necessary. We're continuing with multiplication like I mentioned last time. Today though, we're going to be going more into the particular strategies for the different math facts versus last time we did the overall strategies that you can apply to any of the math facts. And we will begin by going through from 0 to 9. So we'll start with 0. This one's pretty simple. Anything multiplied by 0 is 0. Why is that though? If you think about it, if we look at 4 times 0, that's saying 4 sets of 0. I have 4 sets, 1, 2, 3, 4, but there's nothing in them. So there's 0. And then if I look at 0 times 9, I have 0 sets of 9. I can't even draw a set. I don't have any sets of 9. So that one's also going to be 0. I'd like you to try one on your own now. What is 8 times 0? Pause your video and do that now. Your answer should be 0 because you have 8 sets with nothing in them. So you don't have anything. We're going to look at number 1 now. Anything multiplied by 1 is going to be that number. Why is that though? If I write 4 times 1, I know that the answer is going to be 4. How do I know that? I have 4 sets with 1 each in each set. So each set just has 1. That's easily 4. And then if I say it the other way, 1 times 4, 1 set of 4, it's still going to be 4 because I have 1 set with 4 in it. Try 2 of these on your own now. 7 times 1 and 1 times 3. Pause your video and do that now. Your answers should be 7 and 3 because anything times 1 is going to be that number. Multiplying by 2. Actually, we hit on this one a lot in the last lesson. Anything multiplied by 2, you just double it. So you just use that doubling rule that we talked about. Let's look at it and how that works. 7 times 2. 7 sets of 2, or 2 sets of 7. It might be easier to think about it that way. 2 sets of 7. We have 1 set of 7 plus 1 set of 7 equals 14. So it's just like the doubles rule that we learned in the last lesson. Try 2 of these on your own. 8 times 2 and 2 times 4. Pause your video and work on those now. You should have gotten 16 because 2 8s is 16. 8 plus 8 equals 16. And then over here you should have gotten 8 because 4 plus 4, 2 sets of 4 equals 8. 3s. Again, we did this a lot in the last lesson. Doubles plus 1 is a really great strategy for this one. So what you would do is with, let's say, 6 times 3, you know 6 times 2 equals 12, and then you need another set of 6 because we only have 2 sets of 6 so far. So 12 plus 6 is going to be 18. So use what you know, which you know 6 times 2, and then add another set, so doubles plus 1. Go ahead and try these two on your own, 5 times 3 and 3 times 7. Pause your video and do that now. You should have gotten 15 and 21 because 5 times 2 is 10 plus another set of 5 is 15. And over here, 2 times 7 equals 14 plus another set of 7 is 21. 4s. This one, you're going to double the doubles. So this is also similar to what we did yesterday. You just double the doubles because you have, if we look at 4 times 9, 2 times 9 equals 18. And then we double that to get 4 times 9 equals 36. We went from 2 sets of 9 to 4 sets of 9. If you remember that from the last lesson, if you need to brush up on that, go ahead and go back to the last lesson and watch it again to go over this strategy. Go ahead and try 6 times 4 on your own. You should have gotten 24 because 6 times 2 equals 12, and you double that to get 6 times 4, and that equals 24. 5s. This one is really quick. You just know that the answer will always end in 0 or 5. So you do need to figure out which number goes with which multiplication fact, but that will come really quickly. And you can also count by 5s. Counting by 5s is something you've probably been practicing for a long time. So you know it goes 0, 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 45. Just like that. So try these two on your own. 8 times 5 and 5 times 2. Pause your video and do that now. You should have gotten 40 and 10. Because if you count by 5 8 times, 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40. And if you count 5 5s 2 times, 5, 10, you get 10. For the 6s, there isn't really a particular strategy for these ones that works really quickly. In general, you're just going to use your general strategies, and you can also double your 3s. So this is just like one of our strategies from yesterday. You could take, let's say, 4 times 6, right? So you could use one of our strategies from 4s. You could double your 2s or double your doubles. Or you can say, I know what 4 times 3 is, and that equals 12. Now I have 3 sets of 4. Now I need 6 sets of 4. So I'm doubling my number of sets. So I'm doubling my answer. I'm going to get 24. Also, one particular math fact is 6 times 8. This one you can remember because it's a little bit sing-songy. You say 6 times 8 is 48. That's a pretty easy one to remember. Try these two on your own. 3 times 6 and 6 times 7. Go ahead and pause your video and work on those now. 3 times 6 is 18, and 6 times 7 is 42. For this one, if I'm using my doubling 3s, I say 3 times 3 equals 9. So I have 3 sets of 3, but I need 6 sets of 3. So if I double my answer, because I'm doubling the number of sets I have 18. And over here, if I use that same strategy, 3 times 7 equals 21. I have 3 sets of 7, but I need 6 sets of 7. So I'm doubling my number of sets, so I'm doubling my answer, and I get 42. For your 7s, again, you're going to use your general strategies, but you can also sing the multiples of 7 to the tune of the Happy Birthday song. It would go something like this: 7, 14, 21, 28, 35, 42, 49, 56, 63. The only problem with that is that you have to know which multiplication fact each of these goes with. But with time, you would become familiar with that. So I'm going to have you try these two on your own now. Go ahead and pause the video and do that now. You should have gotten 49 and 28. Now for 7 times 7, you can go, okay, 7, 14, 21, 28, 35, 42, 49. That's 7 sets of 7 right there. And for 4 times 7, there's 2 ways I could have done this. I could have used my strategy for the 4s of doubling doubles, or I could go 7, 14, 21, 28. That was 4 sets right there. For the 8s, use your general strategies or double the 4s. With that, if you looked at now, we already know a strategy for 6 times 8. That's the one that rhymes. 6 times 8 is 48. But we can also use doubling the 4s. So if I said 6 times 4, I have 4 sets of 6. That's 24. But I need 8 sets of 6. So I'm doubling my number of sets. So I'm doubling my answer. And I get 48. There's also this fun trick for the multiplication problem, 8 times 8. I like to say the rhyme, I ate and I got sick on the floor. Which you can think about, I ate the number 8, and I ate and I got sick on the floor. So 8 times 8 is 64. Here's 2 for you to practice on your own. Go ahead and pause your video and work on 5 times 8 and 8 times 9. Do that now. You should have gotten 40 and 72. Now for this one, I could have used my 5 strategy of knowing that it ends in a 5 or a 0 and then counting up by 5s. Or I could have used my doubling the 4 strategy. For this one, I just used my doubling the 4 strategy. So 4 times 9 equals 36. So I have 4 sets of 9, but I need 8 sets of 9. So I'm going to double my answer because I doubled the number of sets, and I got 72. And the 9s, this is the last one we're going to do. This one has a really fun finger trick. What you're going to do is you're going to hold your 2 hands in front of you. And let's say the multiplication problem is 3 times 9, or 9 times 3. You're going to count on your fingers, starting on your left hand. You're going to count 1, 2, 3, because you're multiplying 3 times 9. You're going to hold down your 3rd finger. And then you look at your fingers, and the first fingers tell you the tens digit, and your other fingers tell you the ones digit. So it's 27. This picture also shows it. So they put down their 3rd finger because it was 9 times 3, and then that tells them it's 27. Another trick so you can check your answer for the 9s tables is that the 2 digits are always going to equal 9. So in 27, 2 plus 7 equals 9. Just to give you another example of the hand trick, let's do 8 times 9. So what you're going to do is you're going to count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Put down your 8th finger. And the ones on the left tell you the tens place. So 7, so 70. And the ones on the right tell you the ones place, 72. 8 times 9 is 72. I have 2 problems for you to practice with. 9 times 6 and 9 times 9. Pause the video and work on those now. You should have gotten 54 and 81. If I put down my 6th finger, it shows me 54. This is our last think about it question because it's the last video. So you're just going to think about it, and I'm not going to have an answer in the next video because there isn't a next video. I want you to think about what are you going to do to make sure that you remember and understand everything that you've learned or reviewed in these lessons. What are you going to do? I want you to think about that and maybe share it with someone that you know. I've had such a great time with these lessons. I hope you have too. See you later.